Hey Gear Seekers, I'm Nick. Today we're taking a look at the brand new Be Quiet Pure Bass 500FX. It's a kind of refreshed version of the 500DX with a couple little additional biddies here and there. So we'll do our usual thing. We're gonna do a build, we're gonna test the thermals, we're gonna do all that. So without further ado, let's get into it. As usual with these type of videos on the channel, they're designed to inspire you guys to build beautiful PCs of your own, but you might be thinking to yourself, isn't this the part of the video where you rip the case apart and we take a closer look at all the clearances for everything and what's included and whatnot? Well, yes, you're kind of right. However, the 500FX is based on the 500DX and there's only one or two minor differences. Well, it's probably more than two, but there aren't many things different with clearance and all of that type of stuff. So the main differences that you can see if you buy the FX is this one's got an addressable RGB strip along the top inside part, so along where the top radiator is. It's also got 3 included addressable RGB fans as well. It's got 3 120s up the front and a 140 up the back. It's got a new addressable RGB controller and a PWM fan hub. It's a combined device. And that's basically the differences. So it doesn't warrant us going into all of that because we've done all of that in our 500DX video. We've actually done a bunch of them, so we'll link those in the description down below. So without further ado, let's get building. All right, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed the build in the brand new Be Quiet Pure Bass 500 FX with a few little changes over the DX. Now, let's do our usual thing. Let's take a little bit of a look at the thermals here. What you're seeing on your screen right now is the thermals are rather quite good, especially with this 12700K and a 240mm AIO. Sometimes they can get a bit unruly, but the thermals here are pretty darn fantastic. We only saw about a 3-degree temperature difference between all the panels being off and all the panels being on. As for GPU temperatures, this is pretty standard. This is an RTX 3090. So it's a very, very hot GPU as it is, and inside this case, it's all kept under control. All right, thermals aside, let's take a look at the parts. The CPU is the Intel Core i7 12700K. We put the 12700K on the ROG MAXIMUS Z690 Hero Ava 1 edition, so it's the Evangelion version of the board. Obviously, I wanted to build another themed PC, so I did it. To cool the 12700K, we use the brand new Be Quiet Pure Loop 2 FX. It's a 240mm AIO. It's a little bit different to the other Be Quiet AIOs because it's got an inline pump in the actual tubes itself. FX for effects. FX, effects. Oh my God, he's doing it again, guys. He's using the equations and the mathematics to figure stuff out. Oh, so clever.
Yes, science!
The GPU is the ROG STRIX RTX 3090 Ava 1 edition as well. Oh, come on, guys. You see what theme's going on here, right? You can see it.
Yes, science!
The RAM is 32 gigs of G.Skill Trident Z5 at 5200 megatransfers. The cables that I use are the brand new Lian Li Streamer V2 Plus cables. We always get asked about them, but if you watch the video, guys, I always talk about basically everything in the video. I try not to miss that stuff because people always ask. As well as that, I just wanted to mention the lighting is done in AuraSync, and I use the standard purple and the standard green color with the Starry Night effects. Now, we often get comments from people saying, oh, what color code did you use? Guys, I don't know. Just experiment. That's how I get there. I just experiment until it looks cool to my eyes. You don't want to copy exactly how we do things because on video, it will look better because we color grade stuff to make it pop on your screen. That's kind of the point of what we do here, guys, right? Why am I lecturing people on color codes?
I'm not sure.
Yes, yes. It's a bit weird, that Nick guy, isn't he? Okay, use the slider, choose the color. And I'll chuck a PC part pick list down below for any of the parts that we missed because all the fans and everything are included with this case. All right, so what do I think about the FX compared to the DX? Well, the FX has a bunch of really nice things like that addressable RGB controller that also has the PWM stuff built in with the motherboard pass-through for both PWM and addressable RGB. That's exactly how we used it in this build here. I used the pass-through from the motherboard. The case design is basically the same. In terms of the thermals as well, we're seeing very similar thermals to what we saw when we tested the 500DX, so not a lot has changed here. The addition of an addressable RGB strip up the top, I can't actually remember if the DX does this, but I think it's new to the FX. It's really cool because it kind of gives a little bit of splashback lighting on top of your radiator, which is very nice. One thing I really do like about the FX version is I think that Be Quiet has started to kind of embrace RGB more than they used to because they included their top tier RGB fans in this as well, which is a nice thing to have, especially when you're buying a case. Now, a lot of people say, oh, this case or that case is far too expensive. But guys, if you look at how much RGB fans cost, let's say you buy a 3-pack of addressable fans from any company who makes addressable RGB fans. They'll start from around $40 US all the way up to $100 US. So you need to factor that into the cost of the case. So sometimes you're like, oh, too much money. Wait, we can figure out that it's not actually as much as we thought it was. I'm not being mean, I'm just trying to make you guys have a little bit of a laugh with me. If you want the good cases cost the money because the good cases come with the good fans.
Yes, science!
The real reason for Be Quiet releasing the FX version with these RGB fans is everyone's been saying for a while to Be Quiet, why didn't you include addressable RGB fans? Or the other one was, how come you guys don't make RGB fans? And now they do. It's also their 20th anniversary, so I think they wanted to do something new and fun. And I think they've done a pretty good job with refreshing it to the FX version. I liked the DX. I actually really loved the DX. Every Be Quiet case that I've used over the years has been really good. You get that awesome German quality. It's like if you buy a Toyota Corolla or if you buy an Audi RS3, you can't really compare them. They're in a league of their own. And that's the kind of the thing with Be Quiet. The quality is always so good that they're in a league of their own. I was looking around at some Be Quiet stuff today here in Australia, just out of pure curiosity. And I also looked at the price of this case, and at first glance, I was like, 249 Aussie dollars is a bit steep for this thing. However, I realized, again, like most people should realize, it includes 4 really high quality addressable RGB fans, which would cost you around the same money as buying the DX without the fans.
Yes, science!
I'm sorry, I'm using Jesse Pinkman a bit too much today, guys, but it is what it is. I actually loved building in the DX, and the FX is exactly the same, but it's a little bit refreshed. And if you like the music you heard here, I make all the music. It's available by clicking that join button right down there and down below. Oh yeah, you need to subscribe. Make sure you do that. Make sure you also hit the like button, ring the bell. I'm gonna buy a cowbell this week off eBay. So every time I say the bell, I'm gonna ring a cowbell. I'm not gonna use a sound effect. I'm your boy Nick with Gear Seekers. You peak, we seek.
Yes, science!
I had to do it one more time, guys. Thanks for watching.